Cool. Right, I'll just have another drink of my coffee and then we'll get going. My sleep book that I've been reading is not very complimentary about the effects of coffee, and it's making me judge myself and question because of my love of coffee. I always try and justify it with that when I went on my teacher training. Well, I did it locally, but when I did it, we stripped out most toxins, and definitely coffee was one of them. And I didn't really struggle. I didn't get any kind of tiredness, or I didn't feel like there was any kind of withdrawal symptoms of any kind. So I was like, well, I'm not addicted, so I can drink as much as I like. But I don't know what my logic. I don't know about my logic. Oh, I just like it. I'm sure some of you can probably resonate with that idea that sometimes you wish you'd never got started with things in terms of trying to improve your life because you realise what you might be doing isn't helpful. Oh dear. Anyway, yoga is definitely one of those helpful things. So at the very least, we're resetting the balance, if nothing else. Okay, so how will we start today? Let's start in child's pose, always a nice one. So you can take the knees wide, bring the feet together, or if you prefer to sit with the knees at hip width, then you do that too. And just have a little wriggle on down into your child's pose, noticing how things feel. If your head comes to the floor, then give your forehead a little rock side to side, just easing in. Might feel nice for you to take those arms a little bit wider. Have a little play with the pose. This is simply just for checking in, for grounding and centering. I quite like to turn my palms to face upwards as well, just helping open up into those shoulders a little more. Settling in now. Nice and safe on your mat, facing the ground. Protected here in the egg shape of your child's pose. Taking a few moments to check in. Being mindful of your physical and emotional state right now. And then coming into your breath, take that breath a bit deeper down. So down into the belly, into the sides of the ribs. Feel how the breath can help you become more aware of what's going on in your body. Maybe feeling the belly pressing down a little more onto the thighs. Feeling that stretch into the sides of the body as you take the breath further up the lungs. And bringing a bit more space around the collarbone area as you go right to the top. And as you exhale, feel everything settle down a little more. So working with Ujjayi today, inhaling through the nose, exhaling powerfully through the nose, that slight constriction over the back of the throat, as if you were making the sound, but with the mouth closed, the air passing over the back of the throat and out the nostrils.
Should be audible, loud enough that if somebody was next to you, you could hear them. And in our pranayama class yesterday, we worked with a softer ujjayi. And in that I was talking about how with experience you can start to use your ujjayi breath in such a way that the inhale is similar to the exhale, so you still use that constriction over the back of the throat. So just have a play with it, enjoy it, and know that even if you lose your ujjayi practice, it's really great to notice that and bring it back in. But if it feels too uncomfortable or too distracting, then just breathe in and out through the nose with intention. Continually working on that Uddiyana Bandha, that abdominal lock where we lift the navel up, we lift the belly button up into the back of the body, activating those deep core muscles, helping you find that inner strength and bringing the stability to that rod running all the way up your back. Bringing stability into the spine, the strong core from which we can work on releasing what needs releasing, what needs to be let go of. So just another 3 strong ujjayi breaths to prepare you for the practice. Bringing your palms back onto the mat, the fingers spread, and we're going to inhale, lift it up onto all fours, and then from here tuck the toes and push back into downward facing dog. So we're going to spend 10 breaths exploring in downward facing dog, checking in with your strength in that upper body as you start to push away from the ground, maybe bending the knees one at a time or both together, having a little twist of the hips side to side, maybe coming up into 3-leg downward facing dog, opening out just to continue that exploration. So just doing whatever feels right for you for the whole of these 10 breaths in downward facing dog. Noticing any clicks, noticing any additional areas of tension as you start to work a little deeper in different ways. That's it. Keeping the neck nice and relaxed. Can be quite nice to do a little tilt of the pelvis both ways here as well, just to notice your tendency to overarch into lower back. Thinking about keeping that lower back protected, using that abdominal lock, that lift up of the navel, lifting the ribs as well to activate the upper abdominals, turning biceps to face forward, pressing through the circumference of your palm and the fingertips, nice and strong. 2 more breaths. And then look into the space between your hands. Walk or step to the top of the mat. We're just going to hang out here in Uttanasana. The hands around the forearms or elbows. A little bend in the knees as much as you need to. Thinking about reaching those forearms towards the ground as you continue to stretch into the sides of the body. Stretch the spine. Have a little rock back and forward. Just 5 breaths here. Still working with ujjayi. Scooping that belly up. Maybe straightening up the legs one at a time or both together, noticing how those hamstrings feel. And maybe a little lift of the tailbone up to the sky as you enjoy an additional stretch through hamstrings. Oh, after 4 or 5 hours on the fells yesterday, I can definitely feel the benefit of this. Releasing the arms and press through the heels as you rise up into your first standing back bend. Maybe take hold of the thumbs, locking the thumbs together and reaching those ribs high, lifting them away from your pelvis, Tuck in the tail. Enjoy that stretch through the front of the body. Maybe a little side to side. A little twist. Just do what feels right for you. 2 more breaths. And exhale as you fold. So we're going to start really traditionally for a power yoga. Some Surya Namaskara A and B's. Lengthening forward, inhale. Stepping back, high plank as you exhale. Inhale in high plank, push away. And exhale in, make your way back to downward facing. Go directly or via a chaturanga. Maybe modify with the knees down. If you've taken chaturanga, come into your cobra, shoulder blades together, chest open, exhaling, pushing back, downward facing dog. We're going to get the heat built really quickly, so bend the knees and walk, step or maybe jump to the top of the mat, feet at hip width apart, lengthen forward, inhale, exhale, fold. Press through the heels, rising up, inhaling. And exhaling, fold once again. Lengthen forward, inhale. Walk, step or float back. If you're floating back, you're going to land in chaturanga. Stay there. Everyone else, make your way back to downward facing dog. Choose how you go. It's your body, your practice. You choose. Nice. From downward facing dog, we're going to walk, step or float to the top of the mat. Lengthen forward, inhale, and exhale, fold. Inhale in, rise up. And exhale in as you fold. Lengthen, inhale. And walk, step or float back, off you go. From whichever way you go, make your way back to downward facing dog. So using this almost like a moving meditation. I've talked about that in the past. You know where you're going from downward facing dog. Make your way back to the top of the mat. Working a bit more on that hips over shoulders, on your float. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise up. And bring the hands to heart. Let's have 5 breaths here. Feeling the heart beating against the thumbs. Keep working with your ujjayi to center. Stop your mind from wandering off. Trying to stay present with each breath, with each movement. Thinking about the start of the breath, synchronized with the start of the movement and the end of the in-breath or out-breath, where you complete the transition between the poses. Filling up as much as you can, having that slight softness at the top of the breath. We're going to work a bit more dynamically now. So bringing the feet either together or slightly apart. Together is big toes together and then heels slightly apart. And we're going to come into chair pose. Let's have 5 breaths in chair pose, just checking in with those legs, using them a bit more powerfully now. Check that the big toes are visible. Sitting down. Watch that lower back, so no overarching through lower back. So tuck the tail, reach the glutes to tailbone down. Lift it up through the sides of the body, navel, ribs in, shoulder blades drop down the back. Sit down a bit deeper. And on your next exhale, straighten up and fold. Choices here, walk, step or float back. Make your way back to downward facing dog. And from your downward facing dog, we're going to go straight into warrior 1. So left toes on the diagonal, the foot comes up the mat, bring the right foot to the top of the mat, and we're going to lift up here, warrior 1. Let's take 5 breaths. So keeping this nice and simple, no fancy arm variations here. Front knee over ankle. We're pressing through the outer edge of that back foot. So try to keep the heel on the ground. Hips are forward rather than twisted out to the side. And we're lifting ribs away from pelvis to stretch abdomen, keeping that lock. One more breath. And as you exhale, bring the hands down. You might want to kick that right foot behind you in a one-legged plank and then use that to make your way back to downward facing dog. As always, you can go straight to downward facing dog. You know this. Right toes on the diagonal, left foot forward. Rise up. Warrior one, left side. Now for some of you, it might not be possible to press that back heel down. I'm kind of going back to basics a little bit here, because that's always nice. And if that's the case with you, it's okay to bring this more into a lunge style with the back heel up. But what you can do is bring that back foot in just a bit further so you can press through the outer edge. And it just gives you that different sensation to the lunge, which is more hip flexor focused. We get a little bit more of this rotation when you press through the outer edge of that back foot. So as always, there's no wrongs, there's no rights. Okay, exhale, hands down, stepping back, high plank. You can lift that left leg if you like at hip height. Let's make our way back to downward facing dog. I wonder about a one-legged upward facing dog. That's interesting. Going over the toes to downward facing dog. Well done. Okay, so from here, bend the knees, walk, step off, float. Try to go straight legs on your float. It's really hard. Lengthen forward, exhaling as you fold. Inhale, coming into chair pose. Exhale, straightening up, hands come to heart. We're going to do a slightly different variation this time. So bring the feet wide, toes out, and then we're going to lift the arms up, sitting down into that wide-legged squat. So keep the knees above the hips. What am I talking about? Hips in the same line as the knees. Holding for 5 breaths here. Reaching through the arms. So just a slightly different start, just to work with the hips a bit more. Noticing how the outer hips are supporting you here. When we work on the hips, not just releasing, but strengthening to bring that stability as well. Okay, exhale as you fold. From here, make your way back. You could come into crow pose if you like. And we're going to walk, step, or jump back. Let's make our way to downward facing dog. Exhaling. Left toes on the diagonal, right foot forward. Lift up, warrior one. Just one breath here. Bring the hands down as you exhale. Stepping back, high plank. Going one-legged if you wish. Make your way back to downward facing dog. If you're coming into your back bend, squeeze shoulder blades together. Back to downward facing. Right toes on the diagonal, bring the foot up the mat. Left foot to the top of the mat, lift up. Inhale, warrior one. And exhale, hands down, stepping back into your high plank. You can go one-legged with the left leg behind if you wish. Lowering down or going straight to downward facing. Well done. Well done. Okay, more on building that heat. Take the feet wide, toes out. We're going to do 5 jumps to the top of the mat and then back again. You might hate me a little bit for this. So try to get the clap of the feet as you come forward. Bend the knees. Inhale, clap, jumping into your squat. And then we jump back, wide. Bend the knees, inhale, jump, clap, coming into your squat. Jump back, feet wide, downward facing. Bend the knees, inhale, jump back, clap, jump forward, clap, sorry, into your squat. Jump back, downward facing. 2 more. There we go, that'll get you fired up. Well done. Woohoo! 1 more. Fun times. We're going to end at the top of the mat. Well done. Lift the hips to the same height as your knees. Reach the arms up. Inhale, lifting up. Hands to heart. And then heel toe those feet back into centre. We're going to come into your chair pose. Inhaling. Exhaling, fold. Inhale, walk, step, or float back. Make your way back to downward facing dog. Well done, everybody. One more time, so left toes on the diagonal, right foot forward, lift. Warrior one. As you exhale, bring the hands down, step in your right foot behind, make your way back to downward facing dog. Strong here. From your downward facing dog, right toes on the diagonal, left foot forward, energize on your lift up, and hands down. Step back, one-legged or two, you choose, or just go back straight to downward facing. Well done. We're in downward facing dog. I told you a little lie. Let's go again. Left toes on the diagonal, right foot forward, lift. Well done. Hands down, stepping back, high plank. Make your way back to downward facing dog. Just getting nicely warmed up here. From your downward facing dog, right toes on the diagonal, left foot forward, lift, and hands down, stepping back, make your way back, downward facing dog. And from downward facing dog, stay in here, bend the knees, sit back child's pose if you wish. 5 breaths just to slow yourself down. Well done. Woohoo. Bring everything back to center. Use that breath. There you go. Think about slowing your heartbeat down. Take control back. Use the breath. Well done. 2 more breaths. So we're going to have a go with a little flow that I did with you last week, working on outer hips. Lift your right leg high, bend the knee, and then bring yourself into pigeon on the right side. So we're going to do that kind of strange lifted pigeon. So I'll show you this way on. So bring your left knee up to your right foot. So the stance is a bit closer together. That's it. Try to have your knee on the inside, like the middle of your foot, so your heel is kind of pressing just on the inside of that thigh there by your knee. That's it, well done. Okay, so from here, we sit back and out to the side and lift the arms up as you inhale. Go as far as you can, exhale, power up, back to centre. Inhale, bum sits back to the right, arms lift up. Exhale, come back up. Well done. Press through your shins to lower and lift. Well done. 2 more. Oh. Nice. Now come into a more traditional half pigeon. You can have 5 breaths of chill time. So stepping that left foot behind and lowering down. So this gives you a slightly different sensation. Thinking about on your inhale, pressing through the front shin and through the top of the back foot, reaching the crown of the head forward, so really stretching the spine, exhaling as you sink the hips down. That's it, well done. 2 more breaths here. And then from here, come onto your hands. Try to keep your right foot on the top of that left thigh or anywhere down that left thigh. You'll see what I mean. So we're going to tuck the toes, keep your right leg as it is, and we're going to push back into figure 4, downward facing dog. Can you see? So try and avoid the knee. Try and have the heel pressing against the thigh and then push that knee back. Well done. Still lifting up through sit bones and lowering the chest down. Well done. 2 more breaths here. Use the strength in your upper body to walk back. You might need to come up onto your fingertips. This is challenging, I know. Maybe using your left hand to lift that foot a little higher up the thigh. And then from here, we're going to use that left big toe and the strength in your hips and your core to lift yourself up into a figure 4 chair pose. Flex your right foot in order to get this pose. Well done. So trying to have that heel crossed onto the thigh. That's it. Nice. Oh, it's hard, isn't it? Well done. So I want you to try and hold here for another 5 breaths. Try to avoid that left knee flying out to the side. Those of you who can comfortably bring your hands or fingertips to the floor, do so. And then what we're going to do is bend that left knee enough so that you can hook your right toes around the left arm. So above the elbow. And then you should find that your right knee comes onto your right tricep. Bring your chaturanga arms into place, so elbows above wrists, tip forward, and maybe coming into your Ekapada Galavasana preparation, and then working on straightening up that left leg. Oop, I didn't know how close the wall was there. Let me come forward. Everyone else working deeply on those outer hips. Well done. Just one more breath. Amazing. From here, coming back, and then what we're going to try to do is lift up and then bring your right foot either on the shin or the calf or up into your groin, coming into tree pose with that right knee out to the side. Well done. So take your variation, take yours. That's it. So we're using that right glute to bring that knee out to the side. Press your left hip into the centre line, so you're getting a bit of resistance here. Whoops. Pressing through left big toe knuckle. Well done. If you want a bit more test of your stability here, raise the arms up and look up. Two more breaths. So options here, you can then bring that foot and cross it onto the thigh once again and fold forward. Or you can bring your right foot and just cross that foot over the left ankle so the legs are straight, lengthen forward and fold. Nice deep stretch into the tops of the backs of the legs, into the hips as well. So you've got your figure 4 forward fold, or just crossing right foot over left, the legs are straight. Well done. Try lifting up those sit bones to the sky. Well done. From here, walk forward, and then coming from whichever position you're in, step back, downward facing dog. Well done. Hey. Okay, let's give you a bit more fire. We're going to take those feet wide, bend the knees, inhale, jump, try and clap the feet, and come into your squat. Well done. From here, let's energize in crow pose, some more traditional crow pose. This will help you practice for your Ekapada Galavasana. So wrists and elbows in the same line, tipping forward. Well done. Well done. Remember, you can do this with the feet on the ground and just work on that tip forward with those elbows over the wrists. Push up, activate core, squeeze knees on the outsides of the tops of the arms there, and eventually those feet will come up. Walk, step or jump back, chaturanga or plank. Make your way through, upward facing to downward facing dog. Well done. Woohoo! Inhale, lift your left leg. Exhale, we're coming into half pigeon on the left side. Bringing your right knee up into the middle of your left foot. So we're working on the other side. Well done everyone, you're in position, that's nice. So hips are forward, first of all. We inhale, lift up, and the hips drop over to the left. Keep the control. And exhale, come back up, hips forward. So we slightly twist as we lift those arms and sit down. And lift up, come back to centre. Well done, 3 more. So only go as far as you can, but give yourself the opportunity to see if you can go a bit further. 2 more. Keep that stability. So these are nice, strong and graceful movements. Last one. And then you get a moment now, walking that right foot back as you drop down into your more traditional half pigeon forward fold. Check in that that left hip isn't dropping down to the floor and you're twisting over. So we want those hips definitely squared off to the top of the mat this time. Another 3 breaths here. Reaching the crown of the head forward, stretching your spine, exhaling, sinking those hips towards the floor. Hips are equal. So your Ekapadigalavasana, your one-legged, your flying pigeon pose, is basically crow pose with the legs in a different position. That's all. Most of these fancy arm balances are essentially chaturanga arms straightened up over time with the legs either crossed or one sticking out, both sticking out for your Titibhasana. They're all very similar. That's why your chaturanga is so important. Okay, so we're coming into your pigeon once again. Come onto the hands, tuck the toes, try to get that heel of that left foot pushed against your thigh, and then push back into your figure 4 downward facing dog. The press of that heel against the thigh, meaning that you can push that left knee away. Watch that you're not coming into a twist here. Try to keep everything squared off to your mat. It's really challenging. If you're finding this beyond you, then you can cross your left foot underneath and try that straight leg variation. So you still get a bit of outer hip open in there, but it's a bit easier. So rather than this, you can go for this. But you get more out of it if you can get that foot just above the knee there. Okay, now it gets more tough. We have to use the strength to push back. You're on fingertips. Bend that right knee. Try if you can to lift up into your figure 4 chair pose. So we've got a total of 10 breaths here. Working into Ekapadigalavasana if you wish. Bringing the hands down. Tucking those left toes onto right triceps. So see here. And then bringing your left knee onto your left tricep. We create those chaturanga arms. Stepping that foot back. We're hooking on with these toes here. Tipping forward. And it may be that you just work on the tip. Maybe start to lift that back heel up to the bum. And in time working on straightening that leg out. It's super challenging. It's super challenging. We've got another 3 breaths wherever you are. Oops, wrong side. From here we're going to lift back up, straightening up your right leg, and then taking that left foot so that you come into tree pose. So bringing the left heel into the groin or placing that left foot on the thigh, as long as it's above or below the knee. That's the main thing. So using your left glute to pull that knee out to the side, pressing your right hip into the centre line, core strong, think of that central rod of support that you've got, keeping you standing tall here. Well done, like those trees that blow in the wind. They've got their solid trunk, meaning that those branches can flail about. Well done. Okay, so your option here, bring that foot back onto the thigh and fold yourself forward. Or you can simply cross your left ankle over the right and come into your forward fold here. So those who've taken the straight leg variation, it's left crossed in front of right. Well done. Nice strong breaths. From here, walking forward and then releasing back into your downward facing dog. Well done. We're going to bend take the feet wide, bend the knees. So let's work on getting those hips over the shoulders. It's a bit like your flying vinyasa. We press into the hands, we lift, clap and land in your squat. From here, hips and knees in the same line, arms reaching high, nice and strong. Inhale, lift up, exhale, hands to heart, and then let's bring those feet into the center line. We're going to have 5 breaths here in your Tadasana. Noticing how things are feeling for you. I just need to open my window. It's getting very hot in here. Hot yoga on a Monday morning. Okay, so those who like a block in half moon, bring it to the right side of your mat, but you don't need it. I'm going to show you a different variation. And once you're back at the top of your mat, then we're going to inhale, chair pose. Exhaling as you fold, maybe shifting the weight forward and trying to jump back, straight legs. Otherwise, just do what you need to do to get yourself back into downward facing dog. So these vinyasas are energizing. They're meant to give you that boost that you need to work through the next section. We're going to lift the right leg, bend the knee, and come forward, lift, and bring that foot down. From here, we're going to open out into your side angle. So pivot on the back foot and come into this long side angle. Well done. So we've got the back foot pressed into the ground through the outer edge. We've got the right elbow on the right knee above ankle. Seeing how you feel here about working with 2 arms, Dwi Hasta. Trying to avoid that left side of the chest rolling down. So lift up left side of the chest so that the chest is facing the side of the room. Well done. Inhale, lift the arms up and bring the arms out as you come into Warrior 2. So taking a more traditional Warrior 2 just to work on the alignment, the heels in the same line, pressing through the outer edge of that back foot. We've got the back leg strong, front knee over ankle. You might want to go a bit deeper here so that you can step that back foot away and bring this thigh more parallel to the ground. Rather than using tension in the neck to lift those arms up, keep this nice and open and use the arms, so triceps activated, back strong. And again, using that central rod of support, your spine, a straight line from the top of the head to the tailbone. Well done. We're going to straighten up your front leg. Inhaling, reach forward, reach, and come into your Trikonasana. Triangle pose. So the front leg is straight, and you can press the inside, you can press the back of the hand against the inside of that shin. So it helps give you that rotation. So we're bringing this top hip around, we're bringing the chest around, everything facing the side of the room. Well done. Try and bring in both arms overhead, coming into your vinyasa variation, still working on that revolving round the left side of the body. So rather than facing the floor, we're twisting round. Well done. Amazing. Amazing. So options here. You can bring the hands into prayer position, bend the front knee, and start lifting up into your half moon. That's really hard, by the way. Or you can take your hand on your block and come into half moon this way. So this is a bit less of a challenging variation. Or what you can try, I'll show you this way on. Hands into prayer and straighten up that back leg, lift behind. Oh, it's hard. Two more breaths wherever you are. And then from here we're going to turn to face the mat, the left leg kicked up behind. Bring your hands onto the ground, bend the knee as much as you need to get the hands fully on the ground. And we're going to start bringing those shoulders forward of the wrists. You might need to straighten up that right leg, lift the left leg higher, bend the right knee, come further forward, staying here, or maybe trying a few scissor kicks, bringing those feet up above the head, doing 5 of these, trying to scissor the feet above your head, both legs straight as you lift up, super hard. Well done. Or you can just try the more static leaning forward. Press the chest away, press the belly away. Use that top leg to lift. Maybe you could even try a little fall out to the side one day, just to show yourself that you can fall. Well done, doing an amazing job. So again, just a little bit of energy there. We're going to have right foot down, and then I want you to bring your left foot down behind you and bring that heel down as you come into your Parshvattanasana, so your pyramid pose here. Fingertips on the floor or hands on the hips, you choose. Lengthening forward, so lift ribs away from pelvis, shoot right hip back and fold. If your fingertips are on the ground, then turn the elbows so that you're pulling those elbows back directly behind you, resisting with the fingertips, meaning that you can pull yourself forward with a little more power. The hips aren't twisted. We've got both legs straight and the hips nice and square. Working more on shooting right hip back because that helps keep them square. We generally all have a tendency to twist to the left here. Well done. So we can try something a little more adventurous here. Another 5 breaths as you are, or you can bring the fingertips behind, pointing away, press into the fingertips. Keep this right leg on the diagonal. Bring the knees together so that you get this diagonal on that right leg. Lift belly, press into fingertips, round the back, and maybe without moving anything other than that left lower leg, you can start to lift it and bring the heel to the bum. So not coming forward, that's cheating. Into your humble flamingo. It's really hard. So sit back, Em. Core work like nothing else here. Okay, bring the left foot down. From here, we're then going to bring your left hand onto, both hands onto your block, which is outside the right foot, or you can just bring your left hand onto your right foot or right shin, and then use the stability in the hips and the core to twist yourself around into your revolved triangle pose. Well done. Even that left hand on the floor. So what can help here is real strong activation of left triceps. So that left arm straight, squeeze the back of that left arm to help give you an even more stable base. You've got 3 points of connection to the ground here. The hips are stable, core is stable. Reach the spine forward and twist round. You're doing an amazing job, everybody. And coming back from here, we're going to bring the hands onto the floor, kicking your left leg high, bend the knee and come down, feet together, lengthen forward, exhaling as you fold. Inhale, chair pose. Exhale, come to standing, hands to heart. Well done. So noticing how things might feel through the right side there compared to the left. I'm going to have to remember what we just did there. Just made it up. Let's see if I can. Okay, so from here, inhale, chair pose. Exhale, fold. So use that sensation, fingertips on the ground, pressing through the heel of the palm. Shoulders come forward, heels lift, 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 and try a jump back to chaturanga. Or you can just step back and then make your way to downward facing dog. You know the deal. Well done. From your downward facing dog, if you needed your block, take it over to the left side. And then we're going to lift left leg. And as you exhale, bring the knee into the chest, come forward. Lift, 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 lift. And try to get that left foot just shy of your left hand. We're going to pivot on the back foot so that the heel is down, and we're going to come into side angle on the left side. Some of you might be able to bring that left hand inside the foot, that's okay. Nice. And if you're feeling, so keep that left knee bent, left knee over ankle, slightly further forward end, perfect, nice. Maybe reaching both arms up, ahead. Oh, yes. And then avoiding the temptation to roll towards the floor. Keep rolling up and out. That's it. Nice. Well done. Notice here how you can use those arms to lift up. And the core. Well done. And then opening out, warrior two. As we get more and more open in the hips, you might need to slide that back foot back so that you can bring this front thigh more parallel with the ground. If you feel like you've got a bunching up of the shoulders here, then turn your palms to face up so that you get that external rotation. Keep the upper arms in the same position and just bring the forearms down. And you've got this nice openness through here. We've got your strong rod of support going down from the top of the head to the base of the spine. Think about where you can reach on your inhale and where you can settle in deeper on your exhale, not losing control. Well done. One more breath. Straighten up your front leg and then inhale, reach forward. Reach, 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 and coming into Trikonasana. So like I say, it's not the most important to get that hand on the floor, truly, because what that often results in is that closing of the right side of the chest and it comes down. So I'd rather you brought the hand further up the shin and used it to help you lever around so that you get the twist. So much nicer for your spine. Legs are strong. Try not to forget about the back leg and revolve this right hip around. That's it, well done. Even thinking about kind of scooping this bottom hip under so your hips are being twisted around like this. Oh, going into the Dvihasta, two arms if you like. Ooh. Just two more breaths. So straighten up the front leg there if you can, Rebecca. That's it, my love. Okay, so from here, bend the front knee. Bring the hands into prayer position. Option, to lift up into half moon here, take your time. Press those hands together, it helps activate the upper body. Or you can just reach your left hand down to your block and go into a more traditional half moon. That's my balance there. It's a really hard way of coming into it, so don't feel any pressure. Two more breaths. And as you exhale, we're going to turn to the floor, closing the hips, so everything's squeezing into the centre line. We've got that right leg kicked up behind. You can have a bend in your left knee. So options here, you can work on those handstand kicks where you cross the feet above the head. Or if you like, you can just work on this standing split. Use that top leg to lift you higher. Okay, 5 breaths wherever you are. Try to scissor the feet above the head, a bit like that clap. That's it, well done, Kath. And that's it, Rebecca, just getting used to bringing those hips over the shoulders. Perfect. Okay, so from here we're going to land with the left foot down. And then we're going to start to walk the hands back as you let your right foot come down and we go for pyramid. So both legs straight, hips squeeze in together, sit bones squeeze in together, hands on the floor or hands on the hips. We're going to go 10 breaths here because it's such a good one. So much to explore. So, left hip shoots back, ribs come forward of the pelvis, we fold. Having a go with that humble flamingo, if you can get your fingertips on the ground. So see if you can create your cupcake hands. So more like this rather than this. Let me show you close up. So more like this rather than this. Yeah, because it's just a bit better for your hand and you'll build strength in your hand. And then from here, take those hands back. We're going to bend the right knee so you create a smaller triangle. Bum back, bum back, bum back, bum back. Maybe lifting up onto the right big toe. Bum back and down. Press. Core strong, upper body strong. Keep breathing. Use your ujjayi to keep yourself present in the moment. Strong. It's really hard. It's really hard. I know, I'm horrible. And from here, we're going to work into your reverse triangle here. So, keeping those legs in the same position, bringing your right hand onto the left foot or the shin, or taking both hands onto the block. Wherever you are, activate right triceps, nice and strong, and then revolve around to the left side, coming into your twisted triangle. So like I say, you can use the block, or you can just use the hand. That's it. So try, Rebecca, wrapping your hand around the shin so you've got a push down rather than just like a kind of a gentle balance. Wrap it around and squeeze that arm and it will help you get a bit more stability. That's it, well done. So like when we revolved around using in triangle, using the hand as a lever, it's a similar kind of sensation if you're not using the block. So these are just different ways of working, okay? Like I said, no rights or wrongs. If you get a lengthening of the spine through your stability of your hips and your core, all good. Okay, turning to face the mat. From here, we're going to kick up into your standing split and soften the knees as you come down. Lengthen forward, inhale. Exhale as you fold. I want you just to walk, step or float back inhale, come through. Exhale, downward facing dog. Bend the knees, walk, step or jump to seated, and just have a few moments lying down before we do a couple of seated postures. And it might feel nice for you here to bring the soles of the feet together and let those knees flop out to the side into your Baddha Konasana after all that squeezing everything into the centre line. Maybe just easing out here. Whew. Come back into that Ujjayi breath. As you exhale, drawing the navel down. That strong, powerful sound. Bringing you back to your centre. I'm going to show you a fun pose in a moment, but I can't remember the name of it, so I'm going to have to Google it, sorry. This is what I do in my own practice. I think of things and then I have to stop and have a look on my phone. I think it's called peacock feather. But I might just have totally made that up, which wouldn't be unlike me. No, that's feathered peacock. Oh God, what's it called? Well, I can't remember. So anyway, it doesn't really matter. Bring your hands around the sides of the legs and bring those knees back to centre. Well done. Okay, so we'll just do one spinal rock up to seated. I can't remember the name. It's annoying me. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, Martin. Okay, so we're going to bend the right knee, and we're going to just take hold of the foot and the knee. There we go, a little take it out to the side. Okay, so see if it's possible for you to take hold of your right foot with your right hand. Just pressing this elbow onto the shin. There we go. Even if you're down here, that's fine. That's okay, wherever you are. And then from here, press your left hand into the ground as you bend your left knee and bring the left foot into the ground. That's it. Keep working this right knee out to the side. Now this might be where you are today. Think about lifting up, shoulders back. So we've got the core nice and strong. But those of you who want to give something else a try, you can take hold of your left big toe with the first two fingers of your left hand, or just take hold of the outer edge of the foot. And then we're going to lift that left foot off the ground. Push your foot into your hand and try and straighten up. That's it, Rebecca. Straighten up your left leg. Balancing on your sit bones, core strong. Lift up through that left heel and take your right knee out to the side. Well done. And smile if you can. This is the pose. It's fun, isn't it? A forest pose, this one. Try and relax shoulders down if you can. That's it. 2 more breaths. Bring your left foot down. And then just have your left leg out to the side. Now take hold of your right foot with your left hand. And just working a little bit more here. From here, thread your right arm through and take hold round the back of your ankle with your thumb and forefinger and start threading that right elbow through so that you get that right knee up onto the shoulder. So this might be where you are today. You're just working on getting that elbow further through. Absolutely fine. From here, trying to keep your knee clasped over that arm and then release the hand. Is that possible? Yay. Bring your hands down. Keep this leg clasped over. Press your left heel into the ground. Push into the hands, which are either side of your hips, slightly in front. Lift the hips and try and lift that left leg. Yes, Rebecca, well done. Oh, it's hard. I know it's hard. Coming down. Final little bit. So those of you who are still working on this, maybe you could try bringing that foot out to the side like a telephone, just to go a bit deeper, and then trying to get the foot behind the head. However, if you want to try an arm balance, keeping that foot, that knee clasped over your right arm, bring your left on top. We're going to press down again to get your flight, and then the legs go out to the side as you bring the shoulders forward. Coming into Ashtanga. So like I say, or you can have a chill and just sit and enjoy. So I like to think of this deeper opening here as like a telephone. Hello, hello. And then when you've had enough of them, you just put your foot behind your head. Yeah, I'm done. Yeah, Dad, this is me. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Okay, and releasing. Well done. So let's just have a little forward fold for a moment. Now remember, one side can be very different to the other. So let's not prejudge. You never know what's possible until you've tried. So we're going to come up, right leg out in front, taking hold of this left foot and knee. Have a little play. So to try to help you be able to work on bringing this leg further out to the side, see if you can cross your elbow over the shin like this, and then take hold of the foot. It's quite tough, yeah, because if this knee doesn't go far enough back, it can be tough. So if it's here, it's fine, but just make sure that you can still take it out to the side. From here, sit up nice and tall, bend your right knee. This might be enough for you to work with the balance. So shoulder blades down the back, all this nice and spacious, core strong, and then taking hold of the foot, either first two fingers round the big toe or the hand around the side of the foot. Straightening up right leg. Working with that sensation not to rock back or forward. That's it, well done. Breathe, use that strong rod of support, the core. Notice how in a moment it can all go to shit. Try to keep your resolve. Well done. And from here, let that left foot come down, straightening out your left leg. And now we're going to take hold of that, right leg. Straight, give me a moment. Left knee. So working here. So options, of course, you can work on going deeper into this pose where you maybe bring the left arm through and working on bringing that shoulder underneath the knee. So if you don't want to try these arm balances, that's fine. Just continue working on bringing this knee further and further out, maybe taking the foot to the ear, and when you've had enough of them, try to take it back. Those who want to try the arm balance, hook the knee around the upper arm. We're going to go for the first variation, which I think is elephant trunk. Press your right heel down, lift, and then quads and hip flexors, working so hard for you to lift that right heel off the ground. Have a go. Lift and rocking as you lift. Oh! Coming down. Well done. And then if you want to go for your Ashtanga, we simply cross. I like to just get that back up again a bit more. Hands come a bit further forward, and then we cross right ankle over left. Press, lift, and then elbows go back, shoulders forward, legs out to the side. Squeeze those legs together. And then one day, maybe we bring that foot through and we come into your Ekapada before going back. and down. That's a one for the future. Okay, so feet together and take your hands around the feet, round the back, and just let that head hang here. Well done, everybody. Woo! Did so well today. And then from here, we're going to have a lie down as you come into your twist. So bringing your right knee over left. You can hook the foot around the thigh if you wish. And then lift your hips up, over to the right, and let the knees fall out to the left. And then bringing your left hand onto the right hip crease, right hand onto right ribs. Keep the head in the centre of the line, both shoulders on the ground. Inhale as you press into the thigh and lift the ribs. Exhale, let the ribs go out to the side. Well done. Try in here to work with a longer exhalation. Maybe starting to move into that softer ujjayi. So where you've got the sound, but there's less power. We're starting to move into a more chilled portion of the class, just to bring you down before we finish. So still an audible breath in and out through the nostrils, but softer. Still loud, but soft. A different kind of power. Using the hands to stretch the ribs away from the pelvis and encouraging those ribs to the right there. Come into centre, and it might be nice for you to hug the knees towards the chest and have a little rock and roll on your spine there. And then we're going to cross the left knee over the right, take a hook around the back of that calf if you wish, or the ankle. Hips lift up and over to the left, knees go over to the right. Keeping both shoulder blades down, right hand coming into the top of that left thigh, left hand on left ribs. Inhale, press and lift. Exhale, encouraging those ribs out to the side. Give the head a little shake side to side, and then bring it back into centre. Okay, so I added in that little flying, or what have I called it? It's gravity surfing. So working through several poses while staying balanced on the hands. It's something that we'll bring into future classes in time. And it just shows that this progress never ends. You get a pose and you feel good, and then I go and do something different, take it to a different level. So these are all just opportunities for you to see your greatness, and that greatness isn't dependent on whether or not you can move into Ashtavakasana and then Ekapada Vinyasana. It's an expression of that greatness, but the greatness is already there. I know this. And the only thing that gets in the way of that expression, I say the only thing, it's everything that you have to go through. And so we need to honour that. We need to honour what you've been through by honouring where you are, practicing that contentment. It doesn't mean that you're not still striving, but that you'll get there in your time. And that's beautiful. Okay, come back to centre, uncross the legs. Hug the knees towards the chest, maybe bring the nose up towards the knees, squeeze everything out. And release into your Shavasana. Take whatever variation works for you. Palms up, arms stretched down the body. Both hands on the belly, maybe one on the heart, one on the belly, both on the heart, whatever you like. Or something totally different. Lie on your side, on your front. Whatever feels best for you to now fully let go of the body. Let the body sink into the ground. No more holding, stabilizing, activating, lifting up, let it all go. Your hot body, meaning that the air flowing over you feels cool. Allow that cool air to soothe you and let go. Feeling all of those points where the body's in contact with the ground. Know that you are great just by being born. It's a birthright. So feel that greatness and allow yourself to let go of any holding on to anything that gets in the way of that. Just allow yourself to feel it. You don't even need to control your breath. What a luxury. Just allow your body to do that work of breathing. And let's ask your mind to cool down and be soothed simply by watching your breath. Watching that rise and the fall. Everything comes just like with the inhalation, and then it goes, and we let it go. Whenever you find yourself stepping into a place of not good enough, remember that's always a lie, because you were already born with all of the greatness. It's there, you can't deny it. And anything that says otherwise is only there to hold you back. Fight that urge of not good enough by bringing yourself into the moment in whichever way you need to. Breath, asana. Catch yourself and come back to this feeling. So it's time to come back now. Come back into your physical body, first of all via a nice deep conscious breath, all the way down. Feel the chest full and exhale. Follow that breath all the way down to the fingers and the toes and up to the top of the head, and bringing some movement back to the extremities, working up the body as you bring a bit more movement, rocking the head side to side and taking a beautiful invigorating breath as you stretch the arms overhead, the legs out in front, and as you exhale, bend the knees and come over onto one side. Take a moment there just to make sure that you're fully awake, that you're back in the room. Press yourself up to seated and crossing the legs or taking any other seated position that works for you. Feel that rod of inner strength down the spine. Sit tall, heart open, shoulders relaxed. Bring the hands together into prayer position. And take a nice big breath in. And as you exhale, giving thanks, practicing gratitude for anything at all that's in your life. Anything at all. Gratitude changes your life. All about attention. Know that you are great and that your life is great. And find those things that prove that. See what happens. And so to bring us together, before we leave, let's take a final breath of the practice. Inhale in. And exhale, let it go, and blink the eyes open. Thanks for sharing your practice with me today, guys. Well done. Namaste. Have a wonderful day. That was tough and you did brilliantly. I like the sigh there, Emma. Have a great one. Lots of love to you all, and I'll see